These two guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
The OG edition of Write That Down here, Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd, where we keep track of predictions, put statistics next to them like absolute maniacs, and hold each other accountable here. Before we get into how this works and the predictions and our guest listener predictor, Declan, let's go to the golf course. Let's take a few hacks at the Meadows at Mystic.
Yeah, you can take a lot of hacks at the Meadows Mystic Lake. That's how I golf. You can whether you're taking hacks, whether maybe you're breaking 70 or something, doesn't matter. They welcome all types of players at the Meadows at Mystic Lake. Go to golfthemeadows.com to book that tee time. You know, whether you're looking to wear that green jacket, I'd be doing the same thing. If I broke 100, you're damn right I'm doing the great walk with tears in my eyes, falling to my knees as I walk back to the clubhouse after breaking 100 at the Meadows at Mystic Lake. All right, so golfthemeadows.com to book that next tee time.
I saw J.J. Watt was one of the players, or one of the patrons or whatever, that got to play Augusta like the day after. And they leave all the Sunday pin placements in. I think you go out there on Monday or Tuesday or whatever, and they leave all the Sunday pin placements in. And he shot a 105, and he was very happy with it, with like the absolute hardest possible everything that Rory was even struggling with. Yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be fun to do that at some point.
That's pretty damn good.
It probably is. Yeah. Yep. So, all right, boys, let's dive into this thing here. Every single week, and the season runs from Super Bowl to Super Bowl, we make predictions and we hold each other accountable. The predictions must be quantifiable. Those are really the only rules and parameters. We keep track of batting averages and home runs. And listeners, if you want to be like Jamie and participate, you can send Declan a message through the Score North app and we'll get you scheduled. All right, it's kind of a beefy accountability session, so strap in here.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
We'll start with Judd. We'll start with the bad, then we'll get to some good. You said Kaprizov would not play another regular season game. Mm-hmm. You said Boldy would have 35 or more goals this season.
Wrong.
You said DiVincenzo would lead the Wolves in technical fouls.
I don't recall that one, but that was a bad prediction considering that Ant, I think, led the league, or it was near the top of the league.
You said the Washington Mystics would draft Paige Beckers.
I thought they'd be the worst team. Yep, I didn't realize the Dallas Wings were so bad.
But you did make up for it by saying that both Kaprizov and Eriksson Ek would score goals in that game against the Sharks, the first game back for old Kaprizov.
Both of them.
They scored a lot of goals.
First game
Didn't
back.
Ek score like 4 goals in that game?
Ek scored 4, Kaprizov scored twice, and they scored 8 goals in an 8-7 victory.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you did say Kaprizov would score a goal in his first game back.
And that must have been a long time before that, because I think I made the Eriksson Ek Kaprizov prediction the Wednesday before the game, the day of the game.
Yeah, I think it was last week.
Yeah. And the Kaprizov one alone was way before that.
And that is a home run, by the way. I didn't mention that, but the Kaprizov Ek prediction is a home run. And you know what? The other one is too. I mean, predicting that Kaprizov would score a goal in his first game back. I don't know if I marked that correctly in the spreadsheet here, but I'm going to go in right now. Unless Declan wants to fight it, I do think that is, it's like we say 25%-ish or less chance for something to hit. And I think we're going to give Judd a home run on that. Congratulations.
Yeah, I think it's solid. I mean, he had 25 goals in 41 games played this year, so I mean he was scoring a lot of goals, but it's there.
First game back, kind of.
It's not a moon shot. It's not a mammoth shot.
Yeah, we'll give it to you. We're feeling generous.
In the flower
today.
bed.
All right, I will start with the bad here. I said the Wolves would. This is a really bad beat, actually. I said the Wolves would climb to the 4th seed in the Western Conference at some point. So there was a couple nights where they like were in a 3 or 4 way tie for the 4 seed, and then like a game, a late night game or something would go a certain way. So they spent many a night tied for the 5th and tied for the 6th, or many a morning, I guess, but they didn't ever quite get to that 4 seed. I said the Wolves would wind up with a top 4 seed in the Western Conference at the end of the year. I said Luka Garza would drop 20 or more points in a regular season game. Not enough Cigarza time. But I did tell you that Rory McIlroy would win the Masters. He did.
That was good.
And then this one's been on the board for a couple of years because Messi did not play against Minnesota United last year. But I said Messi's first game at Allianz Field, the secondary market, StubHub, would be at least $200 to get in the door. Well, that game takes place in like 2 weeks. If he skipped a couple road games.
I was going to say, are we sure he's going to play?
But to get in the door right now, it's $380.
Woo.
$380.
I think there was a game. I read this a while back. There was a game that Miami played at Vancouver, and like they moved the game to the dome there to have have way more seating. Blah blah blah. He didn't play.
Yeah, I think Houston or something. I think either Houston I don't know. Dynamo something.
Yeah, Dynamo.
I really fumbled that.
I would listen to a
Domino's
podcast of Declan trying to pronounce.
It's the Houston Papa Johns against the Minnesota.
Thank God I don't do MLS play-by-play. Dan Tierhart, he's a professional. I'm not. But they like issued refunds and like some other type of perk because he didn't play in a game for them either. It's kind of bizarre. I mean, I get it.
Are these like load management games or something?
I think that's it. I think the Vancouver one might have also been because when they moved it to their dome, it was going to be on turf, and he didn't want to play on turf, or they didn't want him to play on turf. But
it's bizarre.
My point is, if you paid $300 to get in and he does not play, I think you might be pretty upset, rightfully so.
Yep. Kind of a bloodbath here for the listeners. Tim said the Wolves would go 13-3 with their remaining schedule, and they would get to 50 wins on the season. Such a bad beat. A bad beat.
Taking your lead, Phil.
Yeah, because at one point I said 18, they would go 18-3, and they wound up going 17-4. Bad beat. Prashant said the Wolves would win at least 15 of their remaining 23 games, which they did, and finish as a top 4 seed in the West. So that part of it went haywire because all of the other teams in the West also went on crazy runs.
So if they had finished out the Bucks game, were they the 4 seed then? If they'd won that Bucks game, because they're at 50 wins then.
Yeah. Well, what did the Nuggets finish with 50?
I'd have to look.
They would have had the tiebreaker over the Nuggets in a head-to-head. But the Clippers didn't the Clippers also? I'd have to go look at the tiebreakers, but
Never mind.
Charlie had a Miami Open tennis prediction where he was wrong on both counts. I'm just gonna.
That's all you know.
Yeah. The people he predicted to win did not win. I don't know.
If I remember right too, I emailed him asking me to spell the last name of Elena. Right. Rabakina.
Elena Rabakina.
I was like, I don't know who that is.
Carlos
really good.
Alcaraz. Yeah. Not good enough to win the Miami Open, Okay, Sam said the Wolves host a first-round playoff series, and the Nuggets will not. And then David said Ant would average at least 30 points a game and 8 rebounds a game in the 24-25 season. So, tough week for the listeners. And then Dex had 3 things come off the board. We'll start with the bad. He said at least one of these guys would miss the cut at the Masters. Scheffler, McIlroy, Morikawa, Rahm, DeChambeau. They all made the cut. This is kind of a bad beat here. You said Naz Reid would average at least 20 points per game as a starter for the rest of the season. He averaged 18.5 points per game as a starter.
Ouch.
And then you said this year's Masters winner would be a first-time winner.
Nice.
Old Rory.
Very nice.
So with that, now, Judd, you actually have 2 home runs, so ignore the incorrect stat here, but I'm leading both categories here. 286 average, 3 home runs. Listeners, 227, no home runs. Declan, 167 with 1 home run. Judd, 143 with 2 home runs on the season. Kind of a slow start for pretty much everybody.
I'm hitting for power.
So you did actually collect your 50th career home run,
I'm swervering it. I'm walking, and I'm hitting dingers.
Congrats to Judd on his 50th career home run.
Don't look at the average. I'm leading off.
I just love Judd's background commentary as we go through this.
My rationale. I'm giving my rationale for my approach this season.
All right, dudes. So that's your accountability session here. We'll get to the Write That Down predictions. Let's bring in Jamie, guest listener predictor Jamie. coming on in here. What's going on, dude?
How you guys doing?
We're doing pretty well. What's your background as a Minnesota sports fan? Tell us about yourself.
So I'm from Florida. I live in Florida now. I'm in St. Augustine. It's about 20 minutes outside of Jacksonville, Florida. Home of Jaguars legend Nick Mullins.
Oh wow, dude.
Yeah. So
is there like a water tower with Nick Mullins country painted on the side or something?
Yeah, it was Trevor Lawrence. They painted.
Oh, I think we lost Jamie's connection. Or
Jamie got us now.
There we go.
Back.
Jamie got us now. Yeah, I see you guys. Am I good?
Whoa.
Okay, we have a little bit of a delay here.
Hold on here 1 second. Hold on. All good.
All right.
Talk again, Jamie.
All right, I'm going to put Jamie in the background here, and hopefully the internet gremlins can sort themselves out. In the meantime, let's go through our predictions here. Judd, you'll start, and then we'll go over to Declan, back to me, and then we can loop Jamie in and see if the connection's better. All right, Judd, what is your first prediction here?
All right, I'm going to go with NBA playoffs. Timberwolves, Lakers obviously start in Los Angeles on Saturday. Write this down. The Wolves and Lakers will split the first two games. I think the Wolves win a road game. I don't know if they win game one or game two. Can't go that far. But I think that the Wolves come back here for game three on Friday, I believe. Yep, Friday, with a 1-1 series.
I hope it's 2-0, and you get burned in that regard.
Write this down.
Why would you say that?
I hope the Wolves are up 2-0 is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I think 1-1 is a great start to a series, personally, but that's just me.
Not good enough for me. Not with all the.
I'm glad you're putting. You know what?
This ridiculous Lakers hype train that people are riding.
I'm glad that you are putting Judd-like wild expectations on your club.
Well, I don't know. I have a Judd. It's not a prediction, but you give them zero chance to do do you think there's any chance the Wild can make any run? They got two of their best players back, and I feel like you are so down on this team that they don't try hard. And
if they show up, yes. Now, but here's the problem: Kaprizov is probably at about 60%.
Okay.
And so, do I give them a shot? It's hockey. Of course, they have a shot. Do I think that they have the consistency at this point to play with a really good team? No, I think it's a long shot.
Okay. Anything can happen in the hockey.
Write this down.
The hockey playoffs.
Not if you don't show up again.
My favorite was how everyone was upset throughout the course of that game, but then they make the comeback and they win, and Fleury goes in overtime, and everyone on Twitter is like, "Oh wow, this has actually turned into a really fun game," and Judge just beside himself.
I threw it out there. I said the Fleury stuff was awesome. I said that was so cool.
I feel like in 10-ish years of hearing Judd talk about hockey, I feel like the pie chart of things you get annoyed at are the perception that the team doesn't try hard. Number 1, 2, and 3 on that list. So do you think that this team has a problem trying hard over the years?
I think this team has a culture issue, which I thought would be gone by now, of consistency. I think this team always feels like a youth team. Like last night, they score this goal to tie the game and get the point, and they're in the playoffs, and they didn't play well. I mean, the last two opponents were non-playoff teams, and they are celebrating like they're going to Pizza Hut after the game.
Well, they made the playoffs without their best player out for the half the season. I just think you need to take a deep breath and enjoy some playoff.
Here's what I want to
see.
That's
all I'm saying.
I want to see everybody calm down on the bench and say, "Okay, now it starts." The playoffs are.
We can't. They don't get a minute to celebrate a goal scored.
I'm going to tell you right
30
now.
30 seconds left.
The Timberwolves are far more professional. The Timberwolves, who drive you crazy, I think are more. But that does not. Just to be very clear here, because I said this, the Fleury thing was awesome. As a sports fan, that was great. But I'm not going to sit here. And the thing too is, in this town, we have Jim Pete and Grady are great. But the Wild announcers, you would think that, my God, you would think that they won the freaking Stanley Cup. It's like,
This is Judd playing the absolute hits right now, bitching about the Wild's culture and complaining about the play-by-play.
But I also said the Timberwolves. Look, the Timberwolves, I think, handle it right.
Well, yeah, and I have a prediction. Well, Dex, you got to go first here. So
I'll go.
Write this down.
Okay.
Sure. I'll go here. Write this down. Timberwolves win game 1 parlay. 3-item parlay. Wow. Timberwolves win game 1. Rudy Gobert drops at least 15 points. Anthony Edwards does not get a technical foul.
Okay.
All 3 of these things. I need all 3 of these things. That's what I'm going for here.
This feels like a shady attempt at a home run though. The technical thing, I don't know if we can. He's not going to get a technical. He's not likely to get a technical in the first game of the playoffs. It could be part of the parlay. I question whether this is a home run.
So wait, go. So the Wolves win. What's the second part?
Rudy 15 or more.
At least 15 points. And Anthony Edwards does not get a technical foul.
I feel like the first two.
The first 2 is a home run.
Justify it.
That's fair.
As a home run.
That's fair. Okay. Because most 3-item parlays are home runs, but if it's like,
but the first 2 are pretty. Though a win and a 15-point or more game by Gobert, I think is a home run.
We'll count it.
Write this down.
Wolves in 6 or fewer. Wolves in 6 or fewer.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
This hype train is out of control with the Lakers. And I get there's a certain inevitability, like the league probably wants them to advance, and of course the league scheduled the Lakers to get all these off days between like 3 of the games, and I get all that. But and we'll talk more about this on Flagrant Howls. People are acting like this is it's Lakers in 6. It's just, they might have the 2 best players in the series. They might also not. If playoff Ant shows up, the Wolves have the second best or maybe the best player in the series if playoff Ant shows up. And then don't get me started on the rest of – I've already ranked the 12 best players in the series. Yep. It's bad news for the Lakers once you get past Luka and LeBron for who the best players in the series are. So I got Wolves in 6 or fewer.
Most important thing, show up, right? Show up.
Try hard.
Everybody show up. Do your
be
job.
Professional. Don't celebrate. Don't show any emotion.
Do
positively.
your job. You know what?
The playoffs are hell.
Act like it. Exactly right. You know what? Until you're in the finals, I don't want to see in as BS. This town needs a championship, not some. We won a first round series. We made the playoffs.
Let's see if we can get Jamie back in here. Jamie, you got us.
Any better?
Yes, I think we're good. Yep. All right, make your first prediction here, Jamie.
Okay, great. So I know it's Minnesota sports. I hope you guys don't mind that I went Vikings heavy.
Let's do it. Yep.
Okay, so write this down. Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones will have a combined 250 all-purpose yards in a game this year.
Okay. We'll give you the at least 250, so you don't get burned by the specificity clause there. But yeah. Jordan Mason should be lighting it up. Okay, Judd, what's your second prediction?
All right, the Twins will deal one or all of these players: Harrison Bader, Ty France, Yohan Duran by the trade deadline.
Wow.
One or all.
Oh, one or all. Okay.
One. Yep. So I think Duran. No. I'm sorry. They will deal. they will deal at least one of those 3.
Okay.
I'm sorry. The Duran one, though, I think there's a chance he gets traded.
How many years left on that deal?
I don't know, but he'd bring you back.
Duran?
A closer at that point in time.
They shopped him over the winter.
Well, there you go. See, our insider. I just think at the deadline, a guy with that much stuff, and if you're not going to win games, really, do you need him? And Jax can go into that role, and there's just, I think if you're talking about maximizing a return, he is one of the guys that could maximize a return. Pablo could too, obviously.
He's got 2 years left of ARB, so he's a free agent in 2028.
Okay, so it's 2.5. You'd have three playoff runs with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and that would. Closer value at the trade deadline is teams get real desperate and they oh my gosh, we need that final piece to our team. And they give you something. So, okay, Dex.
Another one. I'll make another Wolves predictions. Donte DiVincenzo will have at least a 20-point game in the first 4 games. I think we'll get a big Donte game early. in the first 4 games of this series. So a big Donte game. Let's write it down.
Big Donte game. All right.
Write this down.
Okay, write this down. Anthony Edwards, the playmaker, is going to be, if he can decipher, and he's been really good at this for the most part this season, how to navigate double teams, the blitzing, quote unquote, off pick and roll. Then if he can make sharp passes and get the Wolves into some advantageous situations on the back end of those, I think that's going to lead to them winning the series. But I'll say this, Anthony Edwards will have a triple-double at some point in this Lakers series. He'll have a triple-double in one of these games or more. Because I think you'll see if he leans into playmaking, like the double-digit points are a given, but if he leans into playmaking, you're going to see a 10-assist or more game. So, okay, Jamie, your second prediction.
All right. I don't know if this is too weak or not, but I don't want to get burned in the comment section for a weak prediction. But JJ McCarthy will have at least 2 4+ touchdown games this season.
I don't think that's weak.
I think, yeah. And I told my wife, I told her the prediction. She's not she knows what she knows about football. And I said, I feel like more of the average in the NFL these days is around that 2 to 3 mark per game. So I think 4+ is more of an anomaly. It's not like the Tom Brady, Peyton Manning days like it used to be. And especially with JJ technically being his first year out there, that, it's big shoes to fill to get 2 of those games. So, but I think with KOC and pairing hopefully a beautiful run game this year with it, that he can get a couple of those games.
Yep. No, I think, yeah, and they're going to want to run the ball inside the red zone more often. So it's probably less likely that they're going to have a quarterback throw for 35 touchdowns. So, yeah. And then let's go to catch you up here. Let's do your third and final prediction here, Jamie. Give it to us.
Write this down.
Okay. So this is kind of a little 2-parter here. Will the Thrill, or Big Leg Bill, whatever you want to call him, will have at least 2 game-winning field goals this season, and will finish the season with the highest field goal percentage in the NFL.
Wow, dude. Wow, the Big Leg Bill.
Yeah, that's
from downtown.
Hold on. I got to get out.
From downtown.
Okay. I got to practice for next week. So
yes, you do.
There you go. Wave the flag.
That's
there
right.
You go. I'm waving the flag for you. I'm practicing for next week.
He's a prodigy. He's a Rory McIlroy. He's a Tiger Woods. He's been bred to do this since he was a kid. He's coming back from that injury. I think that probably left a bad taste in his mouth last season, the few misses he had after that injury. So I think he's going to come back better than ever. He's got ice in his veins. When he started out the year last year, I mean, he would go out there, and it was the first time in a long time that I felt confident a field goal kicker for the Vikings was going to crush a field goal.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome, man. Jamie, great work with these predictions here. Since you've got this life-changing platform, is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank that helped you get here today?
Yeah, for sure. So, as you guys can tell, I'm a bigger Vikings fan than Minnesota sports in general. I'm down here in Florida. My dad's from Indiana. He got his first trading card when he was 5 years old of the Minnesota Vikings of their inaugural season. So I've been following them ever since I can remember. The 98 season was the first year I watched them all the way through. The 98 season was the first one I remember, which is just a rough way to start your Vikings journey. But I want to thank him for getting me into it and sticking with this team. And then, of course, my wife for letting me spend my Sundays during the season watching football. And I appreciate you guys. I love the show and love the content daily.
Thank you.
Awesome, man. Yeah, Jamie, thank you for the kind words. Great predictions, and hopefully we see you again sometime, man.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right, holding it down in Nick Mullins country down there.
Just a YOLO lifestyle down. Just zinging passes.
Everyone's throwing caution to the wind like
right
Nick
by
Mullins.
ear holes of helmets. Not even let's throw the pass.
Okay, MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning is powering these Write That Down predictions today.
Indeed. And here's the thing. MSP, quality and trust. Two of the most important things when it comes to plumbing, heating, and air in your house. How does Sports Dad know? Because Sports Dad's use them. Because Sports Dad has had problems with the furnace, the water heater, the water softener. Both of those replaced by MSP, and they have done fantastic work. And now Sports Dad wants to tell you about an opportunity to join MSP's Total Comfort Club. For $8 a month, you get an AC tune-up or furnace tune-up and a plumbing check all included. Get ahead of any problems, folks, before they start. Members also get priority service. No waiting days for a tech to show up. You are first. You jump to the top of that list. And if you need repairs, members get 10% off. The MSP Total Comfort Club is all about taking advantage of the fact that they are absolutely outstanding. For service, give them a call, 651-615-4292, or check out their website, callmsp.com. Call msp.com and learn what Sports Dad has, which is they are your service place to call for any issues, plumbing, heating, and air.
Just like Dennis Kirk is your place to either call or just go to their website. If you enjoy riding, motorcycles, ATVs, UTVs, dirt bikes, DennisKirk.com is your home for over 185,000 parts, apparel, and accessories for riding. Whatever it is that you ride, they have all the top brands with the most stock available that you're going to find on the market. They also offer new lifetime returns. So if the thing that you bought is still like new and they still carry the product, you can return it even 10 years later. So, I don't know, if you got something that's just been collecting dust in your garage or closet, dust it off. If it's like new, bring it into Dennis Kirk. DennisKirk.com has you covered for riding season. All right, dudes.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Judd, give us your third and final prediction here.
All right. In this series, Wolves-Lakers, Donte DiVincenzo will get at a minimum of 2 starts. Won't be game one.
Ooh.
Won't be game one. But I think that there is a case to be made that he can impact the series. Mike Conley, we talked about this. Like, he's a veteran. He has certainly picked up his play. But I think Donte DiVincenzo moves into the starting lineup at some point here, minimum of 2 starts.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I don't know, but
it kind of feels like both teams have a player in their starting lineup that may start. Maybe they start the whole series, but they're not going to play super heavy minutes. So Jackson Hayes is the Lakers starting center, and we'll see because Jackson Hayes played 23 minutes against the Wolves on February 27th, which is like the only. But even in that game, like the Wolves were shorthanded. But there's a chance that like Jackson Hayes is going to start but not play a lot and maybe not get played off the court, but like that he's not going to be a huge part of the series. And Mike Conley, even if Conley starts, it's possible that maybe he only plays 14 minutes or something.
Yep.
So how quickly would Finch move to an alternate starting lineup if it's just deemed to not really be a Mike Conley series?
Probably not, but I can go with hope.
Yeah. I also feel like you have this disdain for Mike Conley that has lingered.
No, I like
Mike
Conley. No.
Because he's like violating the Zolgad rules of playing beyond a certain age point or something.
I like him, and I think he has a definite role, and he has no question picked up his play. But I have more of a disdain for coaches who become too loyal to certain things and forego the greater good. This is not a Mike Conley thing. For me, it's a Chris Finch thing.
Yeah. But Conley, Conley has an absolute role, and maybe his role 100%. Is a little bit less in the series than it would be. Remember how bad he was shooting to start the season? He wound up shooting 41% from 3 by the end of the year.
And the dude's a stabilizer. He's a stabilizer. But I'm just saying, I think in a series like this, to win it, sometimes a coach has to make difficult decisions based on people that he trusts and likes. And I think that this is one, but I think Finch's hand might be forced. And what I want to see is, does he make the right move, or does he stick to what he feels is the best thing for Mike Conley as opposed to the Timberwolves?
Write this down.
All right, Dex.
All right, let's make a WrestleMania prediction. Make a parlay here. 3-item parlay. Cody Rhodes beats John Cena. Jey Uso beats Gunther. And CM Punk wins his triple threat match.
Okay.
Write it down, all in one.
I have an off the record counter. I'm not going to make this. I think there's a chance Seth Rollins aligns with Paul Heyman by the end of this whole thing.
Oh my God, that'd be
or aligns with like The Rock and John Cena in some way. I could see some.
Ooh, I like
crazy
that
stuff happening.
I like that.
Seth needs a little. Don't you think, Judd? Don't you think Seth Rollins' character could just use a little boost?
Yeah, I think it's growing stale.
Yeah.
I think it's growing stale. The scripts are getting, I don't know, I just don't like them as much as I previously did, but that's just me.
Write this down.
And then final prediction here, write this down. I think Rory McIlroy is going to have a mental and physical freedom unlike any golfer in recent history after the 11-year drought has ended. He has checked every box you would need. I mean, obviously, like, he only, quote unquote, has 5 majors compared to like Tiger has 16 or whatever it is.
Sure.
So there's more majors to rack up, but career Grand Slam, finally won his first major in 11 years. He no longer has to go to these majors just feeling the weight and the dread and the pressure of what are they going to ask me. So write this down. Rory McIlroy will win another major this year. He will stack another major in 2025.
Off the record.
Write it down.
Off the record.
I don't remember where they're playing all of these and like what his history is, but I'll say the Open Championship.
The Open.
Yeah, I
Open
could see that.
feels
Yeah, that would be like a
poetic.
nice coronation thing for his year, wouldn't it?
I could see him winning multiple more majors this year. He is clearly one of the 2 or 3 best players. His ball striking, he's hitting these shots to 5 feet. If he was at all an adequate putter, he would run away with some of these majors.
Scheffler comes back, right? And takes one probably.
Probably. You know, the fact that Scheffler's like a little off his game and still finishing 5th in majors.
That's why I think that. Yeah, exactly. Like he's struggling.
Yeah, and he's still finishing 4th in the Masters or whatever. So, all right, dudes, those are the Write That Down predictions. The OG edition of Write That Down here in Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd.